Ladies and gentlemen, and my friends, that time is here. It just next morning, tomorrow, that India and England are going to feature in the semis. And why I say the time is here, because for the last few events, India was not even qualifying for the final four, right? So we were missing out on that level of excitement. This time we do have it. Uh, so let me go straight away to my friends, Gopal, Devankur. Okay, let me check with Gopal first. Gopal, uh, earlier yesterday there was an injury scare with Rohit Sharma, right? And I was reading in some of the media and actually in the comment in the Instagram sections as well, while a lot of them were actually asking for a speedy recovery. A lot of them, without intending pun, they were actually saying that it actually makes sense that if he sits out because he's woefully out of form, Pant comes in and he plays as an opener. So my question to you is: this is going to be definitely critical. What are the changes in this Indian side that you will make than what the team played against Zimbabwe?
Shantan, if you're going to ask me a few changes, unless and until it's an injury scare for Rohit, I will actually not drop him
So
for.
let's consider Rohit is fit because he
Yeah,
is fit. But
he is.
what is the change that you will make, if at all any change you want to make in this team?
See, it's a very very tricky question, and multiple people have multiple opinions on Chahal to be playing instead of Aksar and all those stuffs. But I would probably have the same squad. I don't want to mingle too much about the team composition, given that this is the team composition which don't forget just stop the group. I mean, it has and it has played all the matches and it has stopped the group.
No,
They
but
had only one.
I get it. I'm sorry. I'll just interrupt over here. It has stopped the group with a lot of gaps that are still not
True,
filled,
true,
and
true.
some of the selections are probably in question. Of course, you cannot change a lot, but I'll
Correct.
just quickly, because this is going to be one of the important decisions. I'll quickly come to Devankur. So Gopal doesn't make any changes. He thinks likewise Rahul Dravid to play the winning composition. Devankur, will you make any changes if you were the Rahul Dravids or the Rohit Sharmas tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, if you have got to believe in what the commentators were saying about the Adelaide pitch, which of course is wearing down a little, has some grip, is what Harsha Bhole was mentioning when we were watching the last match. And Harsha mentioned possibly, and maybe he knows a little bit more than what we are thinking. He did say one certain Harshal Patel playing in the semi-finals. He did see Harshal Patel playing the semi-finals instead of the other Patel. So if that is the case, I think Akshar Patel has got a very good track record against England. Even if it is gripping, Akshar could give you that added advantage of being a left-hander. And England, they do have Moeen Ali and Sam Curran who can hit the ball out of the park, and even David Malan. I mean, he's not. I think he has an injury
Not
scare.
fit. He's a fit. He's not fit.
He's fit.
He's not been selected. Okay, he'll
He's
not
an
play the
injury scared, but
semi-finals.
we don't. I mean, we don't know whether he's going.
Yeah,
I yeah.
I think he's going to miss the match.
I don't think so because David Malan is one player who plays spin well and could actually take in Ashwin as well as Akshar Patel in that kind of a pitch where which is being touted as one of the pitches that can help India, is what they're saying, because it is slow and has some grip. If we have to believe the commentators, they're the ones who are very close to the pitch. So if you ask me any changes that I would need to the current team, I would think Pant being dropped and DK being brought in, because DK in the middle orders can still give you runs. Pant would not give you any runs because let's face it, Pant cannot play middle overs well. Let's face that. I mean, we've seen enough evidences. That's the only change I would bring in. But I'll not be too surprised if Dravid and Rohit gets in Harshal Patel in place of Akshar Patel tomorrow.
So I was just going through some of the updates, and it seems like indeed David Malan is injured, and he's going to miss the match tomorrow. So,
Okay.
yeah, and quickly on that. So you're saying the only change you're going to make is you're going to rope in DK in place of
DK
Pant,
for
and the
Pant.
rest of the
Yes.
team remains the
Yes.
same, right? And then
Yes.
quickly, and I will be extremely inclined to have Chahal play in place of Ashwin. And I know, or even I don't replace Akshar with a Chahal because he gives you that seventh batting option, and otherwise you're very thin. If at all I need to replace, it has to be Harshal Patel. But otherwise, I want to play Chahal because I feel a leg spinner leg spinners have done well this event, and Chahal actually had put England into trouble before as well, despite having so many left-handers out there in their team, like the Stokes and Moeen Ali and others. But I would, definitely play him in. But I will probably leave Pant and I will keep DK out of the team, because somehow I feel that even he's is not delivered. So maybe sometime because I'm just thinking from that perspective that if you really look at the Indian batting, it's only Sky and Virat who has delivered. I don't even count those 250s from
Rahul.
from Rahul, because someone else would have scored against those bowlings if he would have failed. But it's really those two people. If you look at Hardik's number, he has struggled. So you definitely need one more person who can hit the ball, and Adelaide is a ground where your sides are extremely small, right? So, and he is someone with that pace that brings it, comes in with England pacers. He can actually can play. He plays the cut well. He plays the pull well, and he brings in that left-hander to challenge Adil Rashid in the between. So I am ready to gamble, and I say this is a very big gamble. He might get out for zero, but I'm ready to gamble, and I want to keep him in the middle orders for tomorrow. So I would have, kept a Pant
Problem,
and I would have taken Chahal.
the only issue with Pant is, I mean, he can play pace as well. I mean, he has those dabs, he has those scoops, he can play them. But DK gives you the added advantage of playing against spinners also. He knows how to sweep. I think he's the only guy apart from Rahul and Sky, of course, who sweeps the ball. The rest of us do not sweep. Rohit does a bit of a slog sweeping, but the other players do not sweep. So I think in that sense, DK could
But
give
then,
you an
but then
option
just
against.
imagine you're talking about DK and sweep, right? He's expected to come in the last 4 overs where you will not have spinners bowling, right? And I feel he himself is very confused with his role. So which means if he comes in the last 18 balls, let's say he faces 8 or 9 balls, he can slam bang during that time. But when he comes between the 10th, 12th over, he doesn't even rotate strike. He tries to survive till that last over. So I feel he's extremely confused. He's not coming with a lot of runs, and that is where I'm not sure if I'll play him. And he did get a couple of crucial opportunities this event, and he did not convert. So I'll probably give Pant another chance. Let's see, how it unfolds tomorrow. But tell me, with those sides, and I get a little worried because throughout the England team there are six hitters. Everyone can hit sixes at will. Tell me, with those side boundaries which are small, do you think it's going to be added advantage to India or added advantage to England? Who's going to take the biggest advantage of the ground dimensions?
Divankar,
Sorry, I
you
didn't
want to go?
mention who needs to say. Any one of you can actually choose to answer
I think
this.
I think both India and England. I mean, we have Sky. I mean, who's the latest 360-degree player. Rahul and Rohit, we all know, can clear any boundaries. I mean, how big or small they are. Rahul has been hitting 90-meter sixes. When you're saying that you do not count Rahul's 50, last couple of matches, but I think he has slowly walked into form. Just like Kohli walked into form right before the series, I think Rahul has also walked into some bit of form. The only, and I feel Rahul to be a bit of unlucky is because I don't think so. He likes opening against left arm pacers, and he's been having left arm pacers in all the matches to
All
be
throughout.
content with. All throughout. Even Netherlands, he had to face that Klaassen, who's a left arm pacer.
Correct.
So the same thing might happen with England also. There's an opportunity of them play Sam Curran opening, which he has not done
Current
till now.
opening. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not opened the bowling till now, but they will definitely have Sam Curran opening, and Sam Curran has a history against KL Rahul. So I think KL is back in form. He uses the dimensions better. Indians actually use the dimensions better. You've seen how in the same field, not in the same field, even bigger Melbourne grounds, forward forehand slap from Kohli went for a six against Harris from front. So we have the advantage of hitting them. England, to my liking, they know how to clear the boundaries. Butler is a specialist in hitting sixes. Ben Stokes can do it. Liam Livingston only hits 100-meter sixes. But they are also known to, somehow mistime the balls because they are too, overconfident of hitting sixes. This is what I've seen them. At least in this series against Sri Lanka, when they were chasing 130, they were too very overconfident, right? I mean, it's only David Malan who plays a little bit within his, potential, and it was only Ben Stokes who carved down his natural game and scored
40.
40 of 36 balls. Yes, so that's the reason why they won. But I think take flamboyance to the very next level, wherein they get to be very aggressive, and they also give you an opportunity. Wherein I think a bowler like Chahal could actually, reap rewards. So if to answer your question, who can take much more better advantage of it? I think both of them, but the scales are a little tilted towards India, who plays a little bit more with the brains. The batting set, that is.
The other bit, Debank, the other bit that I just want to probably add here is on the, I mean, as you mentioned, Butler, he is not, I mean, he's actually Bhuvaneshwar's bunny. I mean, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will know him.
Yes.
He will know how to take out Butler with two of outswingers and then one coming in and not Nottingham. So I mean, I won't be surprised. I mean, see, if Butler can survive that particular moment of that 1-2 overs, I think he'll be a dangerous player.
You just with this comment, Gopal, you actually just changed the question that I was actually having in my mind. So I think you made a very good point. I think the only team who got some swing out consistently is India. Because the way they bowl, because of course every other team had proper fast bowlers who can bowl 140 plus except India, and that is why their length is different. They cannot put it short, they have to put it full, and that's where the ball swung, right? So I think it's going to be difficult for England if the ball swings a little tomorrow in Adelaide. But tell me, do you think it's going to be India who's going to be in pressure or England? Because England have never won the T20 World Cup. On the other hand, India is desperate to win this ICC event.
And England has won it. England has won it under Paul Collingwood.
England did won it. Why, right?
Paul Collingwood, West Indies,
and I think Peterson was the player of the series. In fact, they did win it once, right? But I think England will still be desperate to win this because they're pretty much the pioneers of the game in the white ball. The way they come up with something the other teams follow, so they would definitely want to make a mark over here. And then secondly, India is so desperate to win an ICC event. That's the reason probably why they dropped Kohli and got Rohit Sharma with his Miraj touch and all. So you think it's going to be England who's going to be more in pressure, or will it be India?
See, on that particular date, I mean, see, India, as you rightly said, would be under pressure. But then India, the crowd, because since the Australians are out of the championship, the crowd is going to be majorly supporting Indians. So I think India is actually going to play like a home ground match against England. And
that can act against you as well, right? So if you have a lot of crowd,
it can. But you don't know. I mean, if you have very, very rarely, I think Indians crowd has backfired Indian game. It has always motivated the Indian players to play really, really well. And who knows? And England, as you rightly said, they were termed the favorites, actually. I mean, before getting into the competition, the way they had beaten Pakistan in the T20 series in Pakistan, and the way they were playing the white ball cricket, I think they were actually termed favorites to actually get into the finals, and probably one of the contenders to win the cup as well. So, and we none of us actually gave India a chance. Of course, the heart wanted India to win, and but we knew we had our weaknesses. So from all those aspects, I believe Indians were a bit lower than England, and hence there'll be more pressure in England than in India. It is only a matter of fact that Indians, I mean, if they can pick up those couple of early wickets and put straight Indian. Alex Hales is playing really well. I mean, mind you, he's been hitting the ball really well, scoring some quick 50s. So his wicket is going to be a really crucial one. If he can
feel all the top 8 wickets will be crucial, because they just all play in one same gear. The only guy who used to play in a different gear, maybe the second gear, was David Wallen.
He's injured.
So
who is coming in
going to replace him? Probably it will be Philip Salt. Probably Phil Salt is going to be replacing him. Devanko, you were suggesting something else, some other name.
No. I think, yeah.
I think Phil Salt is going to open, so probably one, either of.
No, they will not open.
Either he will come in number 3, because he's an opener and he hits the ball brilliantly when it comes to the bat, right? And on that respect, coming to Devankpur, we all thought that bowling is going to be our major weak link. But Indian bowling has actually done well. If you see probably the spinning zone is the only concern. But if you look at the averages and the strike rates and the economy rate for all the bowlers, they've been well below 8 runs, except the spinners, right? Uh, Especially Shami. And I was surprised, and I'm surprised to even think that this is one guy who was not even in contention, and he has bowled beautifully
Beautifully.
with the
As
with
we
the first
discussed.
change, right? So you think that it's going to be India's bowling who's going to dictate and win the match for us, or do you think it's going to be England still piling up a lot of runs and we need to chase that up?
Right. So, historically, we all know that our batting side is too good a batting side. We always, win matches because of our batting. We think that, but historically, it has been our bowling who has won us matches, be it the T20 matches, be it the tests, be it all the ODIs. So, our bowling unit has always been good. But, we've been, like right now, we do not have our, top post bowlers who are playing the tournament right now. So, we do not have Bumrah. Maybe, of course, you needed practice for Bumrah to have certain practice behind his back for him to play these sort of matches. But then again, to answer your question, Rohit Sharma has to be smart. He has 6 bowlers at his disposal right now. He has to play in such a way that he gets Bhuvi bowled up front. I mean, he has good enough Shami and good enough Arshdeep who can give him those last overs. So Bhuvi in no way should be bowling anywhere between 16 to 20, wherein English batters are the most dangerous. So he has to play Bhuvi. He either bowls up 4 up front before the 14 overs, or he bowls 3 and does not come back. He has an option of Hardik. Hardik cannot bowl full pitch deliveries. He's only bang bowling. So if you and with a shorter width of the ground, I think Shami and Arshdeep has to take it up on themselves to finish the last couple of overs. And to come to your question, and one very good point that Gopal had brought up about Bhuvi and Butler being his bunny. We have a lot of matchups in this. We have Shami who has Stokes as his bunny. Stokes cannot play Shami well. Come around the wicket, take the ball out, he'll nick it to the slips if that happens. Shami and Malan as his bunny, he can take Sam Curran out. So Shami would love to bowl against this English side. I mean, if he is given the new ball, nothing like that, but I don't think so he'll be given a new ball with Arshdeep swinging the ball. So Arshdeep can definitely, work his wonders with Alex Hales, who cannot bat, who has a very, fallen technique when the ball comes into him. So Butler against Bhuvi, if Bhuvi does better, and Arshdeep against Alex Hales. Phil Salt is an unknown territory. Stokes, we've got Shami, we've got short pitch delivery to Moeen Ali, wherein Shami or Hardik can bounce him out. So I think our bowling, when I'm thinking on those lines, definitely I can smack my lips thinking that our bowling definitely has a one-up advantage against England, and we've been doing really well bowling front against England in the recent past. Saying the same, if I have to think about England bowling towards us, it is only, I think, Mark Wood's pace that I think, because Rohit has been woefully out of form. He's trying to muscle all those pulls and, short pitch deliveries, hoiks, and he's been getting out. Even he got out to the Zimbabwean bowler that way, who is maybe 20 clicks slower than what Mark Wood will be bowling at Rohit Sharma tomorrow. So my only concern tomorrow would be Rohit Sharma's inning against too much of pace. But to give you an answer, I think bowling has to work wonders. We have good enough confidence against this England batting side, wherein our bowling has been doing historically well.
I think I have only one point, and I was just actually going through the bowling lineup of England. They have Stokes, they have Wooks, they have Wood, and they have their spinners.
Sam Curran.
They have Sam Curran as well.
Sam Curran. Then you have Adil Rashid, Liam Livingston, and Moeen Ali. So they're playing 7. Now my thought probably is, and I'll probably take your views here, is if David Malan is injured, I feel probably England would want one more lefty in place of probably Topley might come in because of this height and for the left arm.
Topley is a bad.
Topley
is a bowler.
But
he's a bowler.
He's a bowler. I don't know. He's not injured. He's already in the squad.
No, he's injured. He got injured to it.
So you're saying they're going to get one more bowler in place of David Malan?
Is what I feel it, because they already have 8 batsmen.
David Willey could be brought in. Maybe he's injured. He's back in England.
Okay, then it could be David Willey, both of them who can probably bowl that lefty, because knowing England, knowing India, who are susceptible to the left armers, I feel And I mean, their batting is already strong, Shandan. See, they have Butler, Hales to open. Then probably you have your Livingston is there. You have your Brooks is there. You have
All
Stokes,
downhill.
Moeen Ali.
Stokes,
You have
Moeen Ali, Sam
Sam
Curran,
Curran.
and
Chris
Vokes.
Stokes can bat.
So
So,
yeah,
so
they can
the
bet.
batting
I
is
was
full.
actually surprised that they didn't play Jordan. Who's
I
actually
wanted to say that he's
their
got a very good
T20
record against him.
specialist.
Correct.
And I mean, the other day I saw him fielding as a substitute, and I was like, hey, this guy should be playing all the matches,
In
right?
the 11,
Especially when you
exactly.
have death bowling concerns, and
Correct.
he has not featured this World Cup yet. I was surprised, but yeah. So I think I get your point. So there can be probably some changes in both the teams. But having said that, these teams have recently played against each other pretty often, and there have been a lot of players who plays in the IPL. So none of these players are unknown to each other, what they comes up with, and then all these types of things. So it will be two teams playing who knows their strengths and weaknesses pretty well in a ground there the ball is holding up a little, and you have limited sides. In both the sides, you have players who needs to prove themselves and then come at big stage. I still feel Rohit has kept his best for the last two matches. So I'm very strong about that. But tell me, guys, if you really want to put your bet again, not being an Indian fan, and I'll go to Devankur, but we'll all take rounds to give this answer. You're not an Indian fan. You're not an Indian. You know the strengths and weaknesses of both the teams, and you have followed them. Who do you think is going to have an upper hand, or probability of winning is more in the match tomorrow?
And going by the recent form, the recent matches, England, I think, were convincing against Afghanistan only and a bit of New Zealand. They faltered against Ireland. They could not play against Australia, and they were somehow scraped through against Sri Lanka. So I think India has been much more better side in terms of the four matches that we have won. Pakistan, of course, we took it down to the last, but we did not lose by too many wickets. I mean, it was not that the end batsman came and won us the match. So I think as a neutral, if I have to look at both the sides and how they are prepping up for semi-finals, I would give India the upper hand.
Gopal, what about you?
India. I mean, in any time, I think
You
India,
both are
India
still
looks
Indian fans, man.
India looks to
Not
be
not
a
as an Indian
better.
fan. Not as an Indian fan.
India looks to be a better squad, Shantan, and the only concern, or rather the only suggestion for me, and we were speaking it in the last match, is Ashwin, if he plays. I mean, he has to bowl his off spinners regularly rather than bowling his 6 different deliveries. I would still prefer Ashwin to bowl the regular off spinners.
That will never happen.
And I'm sure he's going to get a lot of wickets, because if you look at the other day, all the wickets that he took was a genuine off spinner wicket, not of his.
And he'll have lefties also. He'll definitely have lefties also. Sam Curran, Moeen Ali, Ben Stokes to bowl to.
Yeah, correct. So I think if you ask me, I will say this will be an extremely evenly fought contest, because both the teams are yet to play their best cricket. They're probably England is a little far away from their best cricket. India has shown the sparks and all, and maybe a couple of teams. But if Rohit Sharma comes to the party, you can be rest assured that probably not, the other team will not have a lot of chance. The bowling is good, so I'll probably give a 51-49 chance to India as well, because they have been playing, they're coming out of wins, and they've topped the overall to both the rounds of both the groups, right? So I'll probably give them that little bit of an edge coming into the semis, but otherwise I think it's going to be an extremely evenly fought contest. I'm still worried with those side boundaries with big hitters at England, but I just hope there is no rain. We get the match, and then obviously at this stage, of course, we want India to win, but may the best team win as well and go on to play the finals. With this, we'll come to an end of this episode. I'm sure you all will be absolutely glued to your TV sets with your friends, family, with a bottle of beer, with your favorite snacks. It's 1:30 p.m. at India, and we will see you right after the post match. Once hoping that our team goes to the finals. Till then, thank you so much for your time. You have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you during the match. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.